Okay, so you know how these stories always have that moment where everything shifts? Like, the world thinks it knows one thing, and then bam, something comes out of left field and suddenly you're questioning everything? That's exactly what's happening with Meghan Markle right now. For years, the narrative has been pretty simple. American actress meets Prince Charming, they fall in love, she enters the royal family, and then, well, things get complicated. But what if that's not the whole story? What if Meghan's entrance into the House of Windsor wasn't this fairy tale accident, but something far more calculated, even orchestrated? I know, it sounds crazy, right? But hear me out. We've got Ghislaine Maxwell locked up and finally talking, or at least trying to talk. And what she's allegedly hinting at is explosive. We're talking about Meghan being far closer to the Epstein circle than anyone ever imagined. And that's not just some random internet conspiracy theory. That's whispers from behind prison walls, connected to a case that's brought down some of the most powerful people on the planet. The thing is, a massive chunk of Maxwell's testimony is redacted, like blacked out by the government redacted. We're talking 12 hours of vanished conversations. And according to sources close to the transcripts, those redactions weren't random. They were strategic. Details so sensitive, so damaging, that someone decided they needed to be buried. And guess what name allegedly pops up in those missing hours? Meghan Markle. Not as a casual mention, but connected to events, people, and circles that are now at the heart of the Epstein scandal. Think about it. Before Harry, before Duchess, before Buckingham Palace, Meghan's name was supposedly part of testimony the world was never meant to hear. That's a bombshell. And it doesn't stop there. Remember Virginia Roberts, the woman who accused Prince Andrew of sexual assault? She reportedly wanted Meghan Markle as a witness. Why? Because, according to Roberts, Meghan had direct knowledge of certain individuals, specifically Prince Andrew, before she even became part of the royal family. Now, why would Roberts ask for Meghan? It's not like she was a major celebrity at that point. Roberts wasn't looking for a famous face. She was looking for someone who had been in those exclusive social environments, someone who had seen Andrew, Maxwell, and others interacting behind closed doors. Suddenly, that fairy tale narrative starts to crumble, doesn't it? And then there's the kicker. Maxwell's alleged personal admissions about Meghan's past, about a name she supposedly went by, Flower. Not a stage name, not a character name, but an alias used in adult entertainment spaces and private social circles linked to Epstein. Maxwell claims she knew Meghan, not just in passing, but in a way that suggests they shared overlapping worlds long before Prince Harry ever entered the picture. Look, I'm not saying any of this is fact, but the fact that these allegations are even surfacing, the fact that Meghan's name is being whispered in connection to the Epstein scandal, that's a big deal. It changes the whole context of her story. It suggests that her rise to royalty wasn't just luck or love, but something far more complex, possibly even something darker. This isn't about judging Meghan, not yet anyway. It's about understanding the forces at play, the hidden networks, the powerful individuals who might have had a hand in shaping her destiny. Because if even a fraction of this is true, then the Meghan Markle story we thought we knew is nothing more than a carefully constructed illusion. Okay, so if Maxwell's spilling tea about Meghan being Flower in Epstein's circles, it throws a whole new light on, well, everything. I mean, think about it. We're talking about a young actress trying to make it, and she's allegedly hanging out in these super exclusive, super shady environments. It's not like she's just at a Hollywood party. We're talking about Epstein-linked parties. That's a whole different ballgame. And it's not just about the parties, right? It's about who she might have met there. According to these sources, Meghan was no stranger to the orbit surrounding Prince Andrew, way before she was even on Harry's radar. Dinners, galas, private parties, the kind of places where you don't just stumble in. Everyone's handpicked, connected to someone powerful. And allegedly, Meghan was there, trying to climb the ladder, making those all-important introductions. Now, nobody's saying she was romantically involved with Andrew, but she was apparently close enough to witness the whole scene, the atmosphere, the unspoken rules. She was interacting with people who moved between Hollywood, New York, and royal circles. And that's where things get really interesting. Because if Andrew was the doorway, Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, was supposedly right there beside him. I mean, we all know Fergie's been tied to the royal family through thick and thin, right? But apparently, she played a much bigger role in Meghan's early proximity to the royal circle than anyone realized. They weren't just meeting right before the wedding, like the official story goes. Sources claim Fergie knew Meghan way before that. She was at the same exclusive events, close with Epstein and Maxwell, when they were at the peak of their influence. Some reports even suggest Fergie was competing for Maxwell's position, trying to get in with the same wealthy and powerful guys. It's not about jealousy or anything. It's about access. Fergie knew the value of being around power. And Meghan? She was an ambitious actress wanting to be in the rooms where her career could take off. And get this, some sources even say Fergie later tried to block Meghan from getting too close to Andrew once Meghan's star started rising. Maybe she was protecting the royal family. Maybe it was rivalry. Who knows? But the point is, Fergie knew Meghan, knew her world, and understood her connections before the rest of the royals even knew her name. And that brings us to the night everything changed, the night Meghan and Harry supposedly met. It all went down at Soho House, which, let's be real, is like the perfect place for this kind of thing. Exclusive, glamorous, filled with the right people. And at the center of it all, Ron Burkle, a billionaire with connections everywhere, including people who quietly overlapped with Maxwell's world. Soho House isn't just a club, it's a networking machine. It moves careers, fixes reputations, and connects rising stars to elite circles crazy fast. And in April 2015, they opened a new spot in Istanbul. Harry and Charles were there, and so was Meghan. Some say she was invited by a friend. Others say Burkle himself set things up. But everyone agrees, it wasn't a random meeting. It was the perfect setup. The music, the lights, the crowd, the feeling of being special, all designed to create a moment. And within a year, Meghan went from actress to humanitarian, from Hollywood hopeful to polished global figure, from flower to future duchess. People were definitely wondering who helped her make that transformation, who opened the doors, who guided her, because that kind of rise doesn't happen by accident. And the whispers from that Soho House weekend suggest the hand behind Meghan wasn't just Soho House itself. It was connected to those older, more powerful networks, the ones Maxwell might have been talking about before her testimony got blacked out. So, why would Meghan's name be in those redacted files? According to sources, it's not about protecting Meghan, it's about protecting the people who put her in those circles. Powerful men, donors, financiers, names from Hollywood, New York, London, and the royal adjacent crowd. If Meghan was in those environments, even briefly, she might have seen or heard things that could embarrass some very important people. That's the real tension here. Meghan has memories, connections, conversations that are dangerous in the wrong hands, not because she wanted them, but because she was there. She saw the faces, heard the whispers, understood the dynamics. So, the redactions aren't because she's a threat, they're because she's a witness. And witnesses, especially duchesses, need to be controlled, guided, managed. In this version of the story, Meghan's rise wasn't a fairy tale. It was a placement, a strategy to move her away from her past. But when someone rises that fast, you know there's going to be pushback. And inside the royal family, silence is the rule, discipline is the lifestyle, and reputation is everything. That's why the tension between William and Harry isn't just sibling rivalry. It's about protecting the monarchy. Sources say William has drawn a line in the sand. He won't let Meghan back into the inner circle, not because of public arguments, but because of her past, those hidden rooms, those powerful circles, those redacted hours. He refuses to let that stuff near the monarchy again. That church service at Balmoral? That was a power move. William basically told Andrew, "You choose, it's either you or me." And Andrew blinked. That tells you everything. William's not playing anymore. He's cutting ties with the whole Epstein mess, and that includes anyone even remotely connected. And look, it's not just about Andrew being a creep. It's about the whole system, the whole network of powerful people who enabled Epstein and Maxwell. William sees Meghan as a risk, someone who knows too much about a world he wants the monarchy to forget. He's not just fighting Harry, he's fighting the history Harry married into. History that could blow up in their faces at any moment. And the craziest part, it all allegedly started on a yacht. I'm not talking about a Carnival cruise. I'm talking about one of those super exclusive, invitation-only parties where the rich and powerful do whatever they want behind closed doors. That's where Meghan supposedly first entered that world, the world she's now accused of knowing too well. Imagine it. Soft music, expensive perfume, the clinking of glasses. Young Flower is there, making connections, not realizing that every face she meets will later shape her future. From that moment on, she wasn't just an actress. She was someone the powerful recognized, someone they watched, someone they moved around like a chess piece. Years later, when she walked into Harry's life, she wasn't a stranger. She'd already seen the world he was protected from his entire life. That's why those redactions matter. That's why Virginia Roberts wanted her as a witness. That's why Maxwell's statements caused a meltdown. And that's why the royal family is basically at war with itself. Meghan isn't dangerous for what she did. She's dangerous for what she knows. She's a walking, talking liability. And as more people start talking, from prison cells to courtrooms to sealed files, that storm that started on that yacht is brewing again. It's not a matter of if Meghan's past will come back to haunt her. It's a matter of how much of it the world is ready to handle. Because let's be honest, this isn't just about Meghan anymore. It's about the whole system, the whole network of power and influence that allowed Epstein and Maxwell to get away with their crimes for so long. And if Meghan's story is even partially true, it means the royal family is a lot closer to that mess than they want us to believe. And that's why they're trying so hard to keep her quiet. That's why William's drawing a line in the sand. He's trying to protect the monarchy, but is he also trying to protect something else? Something bigger? Something that could bring the whole house down? We're talking about a potential cover-up, a conspiracy to silence anyone who knows too much. And Meghan Markle, whether she wants to or not, is right in the middle of it. It's a wild story, I know. But the fact that these allegations are even out there, the fact that Meghan's name is being linked to